This podcast replay is brought to you by Moody's Dental. They offer same-day dentistry with the latest CERIC technology. Take advantage of your insurance benefits for 2019 before the year runs out and they're all gone. Call 305-821-0231 or moody'sdental.com.
The FAU Owls program. We have no owls here for you to adopt. Unfortunately, here at the Doral Animal Services. Plenty of dogs and cats, no owls, but my man Khobi Price does cover the most important owl in this town, which is the FAU Owls and the football team. I told you we'd get Khobi back when they have some news, and damn, Khobi, they wasted no time. They said, no, we're not allowing this recruiting deal to get past us. They got their coach right away, dude. How you doing?
Doing well. The Willie Wagon is here. We're getting that one on right there. Bye-bye Lane Train. Hello, Willie Wagon.
I like it. All right, the Willie Wagon. All right, so
there you go.
Khobi, walk us through this. What was their thinking? Why are they going in this direction? And especially after what happened at FSU.
Well, it kind of moved, as you can see, it moved very quickly. I kind of summed it up on Twitter. Saturday, you win the conference, and then you lose your coach, and now you already on Wednesday, you get a new coach. They wanted a guy with experience. They wanted a guy who was proven. They wanted a guy who has been able to win games, especially on this level, the G5, D1 level. And it came up yesterday that he was the top target, and they got the deal done swiftly and quickly.
Now, what convinces them that he's going to be better than what they saw at FSU?
I think when you look at his track record, I know FSU, nobody's going to excuse FSU. Nobody's going to say he did a good job there. But when you look at his track record, what he did at Western Kentucky, what he did at South Florida, and what he did at Oregon, he had a proven track record of, for those programs, turning them around, and they eventually became winners. And he has the luxury of coming into a situation now where FAU has proven to have won this year, and then in 2017. So I think their thinking is this guy who maybe just had a bad luck this time. They may think FSU may have been going down the drain anyway, or it may have been a bad situation anyway, and he wasn't given the best shake. And he has a track record of doing his best job in his third or fourth year. He only got a year and a half at FSU.
Khobi, I would imagine that recruiting was really important for them because this is the third school now in this state. I don't know if there's another, like I can think of Schnellenberger at FAU and UM, Butch doing FIU and UM, but there aren't a lot of coaches that have been in two, much less three different schools in this state. And I would imagine that the folks at FAU were saying, okay, well, when it comes to recruiting, this guy's got his roots deep here all throughout Florida. This benefits us here at FAU.
And don't forget, he's a Florida native.
Yeah.
He was a big-time quarterback in high school before he went off to Western Kentucky. Big-time quarterback in high school in Florida. This is going to be his third job in the state, third job in Florida. That's going to go well with the recruits. He doesn't. And that's the great thing. He doesn't need to get familiar. He doesn't need to learn about a base he doesn't know. He's coming off a job. He was already in Florida earlier this year as of 2 months ago.
Right.
So if you're talking about the in-state stuff, you're getting a guy who he's been successful at the G5, knows recruiting in this area, has recruited well in the past. He's very much the ideal candidate that FAU was looking for.
Khobi Price joining us, South Florida Sun Sentinel FAU beat writer. You can follow him on Twitter at Khobi_P, and it's the Khobi with a KHOBI, by the way. And Khobi, let me ask you, here's the one thing that I would be concerned about if I'm FAU, okay? I'm not exactly sure what his background is, but he has a little gypsy in him. Because he doesn't. Yeah, no, seriously, dude. He leaves USF and then he goes to Oregon and he wastes no time and leaves Oregon to go to FSU. and he got fired at FSU. But this is a guy that clearly was trying to get to the top of the college football heap, and he thought Florida State was it. And he didn't really waste a lot of time staying in other places. What's to say that this is not going to be, again, he suffered a setback, but he wants to get back to the top, and he's just using FAU as a stepping stone, which, by the way, is what we all felt about Lane when he took over, that he suffered setbacks, and he was only here for a certain amount of time, and sure enough, he left for the Ole Miss job. Isn't this kind of, maybe repeating itself all over again?
I was going to say, everything you said kind of sounded like the Lane Kiffin trail. I will say, and he came out, they had a statement yesterday, I don't know how much people want to read into statements. You can read as much into it as you want to. But he had a statement coming out basically saying that he wants to be here for the long haul. He views it as a long-term job. He's committed, committed for the long run. And if you want to make the Lane Kiffin comparison, I think it's a little different. I think that his Willie's ties, Taggart's ties are a little bit deeper to the Florida area.
True.
And we know that he was already at South Florida. I was hearing that he wanted to go back there. They found their guy. He's not going to go back to FSU. And I think this is a place that, whether it's 3, 4, his deal's for 5 years, I don't see him being gone in 1 or 2 years. I think he'll be here for at least 3, 4, 5 years. And very similarly to Kiffin, if he's here for 3, 4, 5 years, you're kind of thinking, being grateful for that, because big name, like I said, turnaround programs in the past, and maybe this is a job he does view as in the long term. This is something we'll talk about more at the press conference later today. Well, but I don't see him being gone in 1 or 2 seasons.
I'll tell you, listen, there's one thing I admire about the FAU athletic program, because they have tried, man. They have built their stadium. They have brought in some big names to coach their football team, and they've brought big names in to coach their basketball team. Several former NBA players have gone there to coach. They have, I mean, I can't credit the Owls enough how much they have tried to find that face to stick with that university, whether it's basketball or football. They do have one hell of a dedication to trying to find the right piece to try to lead some of their athletic programs.
And credit to Brian White, especially, and I think some people around FAU, fans more so, are kind of disappointed. You're saying you're going from Kiffin to Taggart. That feels like a fall off. But if we were going from Partridge to Taggart, people would be more excited. They'd be like, "Oh, this is a bigger deal." It doesn't feel as big of a deal for some people because it's Taggart. And yes, tremendous credit to Brian White and his staff and the overall program. They move quickly on this.
Yeah.
You lose the coach on Saturday, and on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, you find a new guy who, very much the ideal candidate for what they were looking for. Their top candidate, more than likely.
Khobi Price joining us from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And Khobi, I know you wrote, I think it was yesterday, about Kevin Smith. We were talking about it on the show. Was he ever a consideration at all for the head coaching job? Because obviously Lane wasted no time bringing him to Ole Miss. And obviously he's done a great job coaching up the running backs. That group has been so impactful under his tutelage there at FAU. Was he ever in the mix?
I don't believe he was ever truly in the mix. I think it would be somewhat premature for him to become a head coach. He doesn't have too much experience. He was at UCF for a little bit, and then he's coming to FAU. I think it would be a little premature for him to be a head coach at this point. And I think it was kind of known that he was going to go with Kiffin. I think they might have had something agreed upon, and once Kiffin knew he was leaving, he was one of the guys. He's like, I got to bring this guy with me.
Yeah, no, he was
one of his first hires.
Yeah, it looked like, reading your story, you just kind of can feel it through the story that Kevin was one of those guys that was really important to the program and important to Kiffin. So when I saw that was I found that very interesting. Here's the other thing I want to ask you, Khobi, get your thoughts on this. Now, we've talked about the gypsy that he is and all that stuff and whether he's going to stay long-term or not, and we can debate all of that. But I will say this. I believe that FAU is going to get an extremely motivated Willie Taggart because the FSU thing was such an embarrassment and he has taken such a hit for his pride and everything else. Because like you were talking about, if you look at his body of work leading up to FSU, it was all trending in the right direction. It was all trending upward. Everything was looking good. This was the one time where it looked completely dysfunctional and out of whack, and it just didn't look good. So he's going to be super motivated to prove that what he did prior to FSU is the norm, and that what happened at FSU was the aberration, correct or incorrect? How do you feel?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think this is the case. Like I said, we can say this about Kiffin.
Yes.
Maybe not even call it a failure. If you want to go a little light, you can call it a learning lesson. He had a very upward trend towards success. So whether it was at Western Kentucky, turning around that program, whether it was at USF, turning them around, Oregon, turning them around. People overlook the Oregon part about it too. Oregon was looking rough the year before he came, and he turned that around quickly, and then he left, of course. And then at FSU, yeah, you had rough years. I'm still under the belief that it may have not looked as bad under another head coach. Maybe if Fisher stayed for another year, it would have looked better, but I think it still would have been on the downturn regardless. Yeah. And then you learn from that. People need to remember that the trajectory is not always going to be up. You have rough spots. You have a Nick Saban going to the Miami Dolphins and having a little tough time in there and going back to college. You have rough spots, and I think he's going to come in motivated. He's going to have lessons learned that he probably wouldn't have had if he didn't go to FSU. And he's going to inherit a roster that's proven to be a winner. He's going to have his Chris Robinson at quarterback, proven to be an MVP caliber player, just named to all conference, going to get Kiki Leroy more than likely back next year. He's going to have a talented roster. I'm more curious about what he's going to do assistant-wise, because that matters to me almost more than anything else, just as much as recruits.
Oh, yeah. And that was my brother, that was going to be my follow-up question. What have you heard about assistants? What do you hear? Who's coming with him? That was going to be my next question. So what do you got for me on that end?
Still trying to figure out some things about the assistants. There's hope in the area, or there's hope in the air that he's going to keep Glenn Spencer on as the defensive coordinator because of the success that FAU has had this past season or this season on that side of the ball, especially after last year. There's hope that Glenn Spencer will stay on his staff or be on his staff for this upcoming year, and he'll just have to figure out his other pieces, his other assistants.
All right. So press conference today at 3:30, correct?
Correct.
All right. So Pepper Rally, what's going on? What do they got going on at the FAU campus? What are they going to do for Willie now? They're going to, because that's the one thing I give FAU credit. They and Lane was really good with social media and all of that. They did a nice job of stirring it up, the publicity. But Willie isn't going to be as front and center on social media like Lane is.
Yeah, no, they had FAU released a video. They released a package last night about Willie talking to the team. But I'm not sure that's something I'm looking forward to seeing. What kind of spectacle are they going to have for today? I'm really interested in seeing this all. Yeah. I haven't heard too much about what kind of spectacle they're going to provide. You know
that they went to some country store or some Western wear or see somebody that has a wagon and they're trying to borrow it for today for a prop, right? I mean, somebody's got to have a wagon that they borrowed from somewhere that they're going to bring it over to FAU, right? I mean, that it has to be that, right?
Man, I mean, honestly, they get a wagon, and after he can arrive to the press conference in the wagon and leave in the wagon, that's all I would need.
Oh, that's it.
All aboard the Willie wagon.
Oh, that would be fantastic, dude. Chaps, shooters, hat, everything, exactly. Spurs. Oh, that would be fantastic. The new sheriff is in town. I love it.
The new guys in town.
That would be fantastic. Follow Khobi Price, man. If you love your FAU and you want to follow on what's going on with everything with the FAU football team, follow him like I do, Khobi_P, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Khobi, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Second time this week. You're a regular.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Khobi Price, man. Good stuff there from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Good dude. And that's, I tell you, they have put names on in their on their basketball court. They have had from Jarvis to Walters to Green to, they have put all kinds of names as coaches or ex-NBA players that have gone there. And then football-wise, with Howard and with Lane Kiffin, and now you're doing the Willie Taggart stuff. It just, they try, man. They are doing their darndest.
All of their wins, all of their success, they deserve it. They try, man.
Yeah, they work hard, man, at FAU, and they haven't been able to
get over
the hump.
Dude, when they brought in Howard Schnellenberger, remember that?
Yeah.
It was like,
well, that's what started the program.
Yeah, built the stadium and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the lack of effort, you can't say that about FAU,
no,
man.
Never. You can never say that about FAU. They try, man. And I hope it works out for them. I will say this. Willie is going to be a motivated dude. For sure. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be motivated. Because it was a disaster for him at FSU. They looked incompetent. They looked like they were unorganized. It was bad. It was a bad look for Willie. And you were hoping that it would get better the second year and they would look competent, right? And it looked just as bad and it did not get better. And I don't blame FSU for firing him. I wouldn't have fired him the first year, but I would have given him the second year to come back like they did. And to their credit, they made the move. And let me tell you something. I'm doing the same thing with Manny. I'm not firing him this year, but if the same crap happens next year and you're losing to the Dukes and the FIUs of the world and you have more talent than them, then, yeah, you have to fire Manny also next year. And if they don't want to, that's fine, but I'll be saying you got to fire him.
I think, like Khobi pointed out, though, Taggart is back in his wheelhouse. He was very successful at this level, and I think it should help him just get back on track where he was. You know what I mean? Florida State was you're talking about major, big-time college football, and maybe a little bit more than he needed to bite off,
I don't know, because he was at Oregon and he did all right. It just didn't work out for him. He had a bad now we'll find out. We'll find out if he does well at FAU, then you're going to go, okay, that's why UCF and Western Kentucky and Oregon, everything went well, and FSU was an aberration. We'll find out now.
Another thing smart.
Time will answer all of this.
Another thing smart by FAU. Think about this. Taggart is a name. He has been at two major programs. And the momentum that Kiffin has, 2 10-win seasons in 3 years.
Yeah.
To grab the coach quick, this is recruiting season.
Yeah.
Really smart on FAU's part.
Yeah, but he also has to live up to it now. So if he's not winning the conference and he's not playing well and he's not taking advantage, then people are going to say, okay, this is the wrong guy. This guy just, I don't know. If he doesn't have success here, they're going to say he was lucky his first go-arounds. That's what they're going to say, because they're going to say, okay, well, look what's happening at FAU and FSU. And that he's going to be motivated, man. That's the one thing about him. He's going to be motivated to prove people wrong. That's the good thing for FAU. They win in that sense that they get a guy that is going to want to kick ass in a bad way. Yeah, dude, he's going to want to show people up, and he's going to want to stick it to people and say, you see, I'm a damn good coach. We'll find out. We will find out.